we have to give our opinions.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes, we're ready now.
Okay, you can start.
Okay, question number 4. Why do you think Elmer was so obsessed with the birthmark?
I think he was obsessed with the birthmark because he wanted perfection. I
Mhm.
mean, human perfection. And Georgiana with the birthmark, it wasn't perfect. It was beautiful and gorgeous,
Yes.
but not perfect. Right? I don't know. I think
I agree with Kata. And I want to compliment that it was so a strange man.
Mhm.
Because in some cases, for example, artist in the story said that he created a potion for the eternal life, and for that reason, I think he always was finding a form to do something different, but strange for society.
Yes, like you said, like Miguel said, he was strange, but he loved her, and he wanted that that she had to be perfect.
Well, I also agree with Keda and Miguel in the point of he want to found the perfection, but I think that he married with her because he want to create something to create perfection. Maybe he want to something or someone almost perfect to create something perfect.
Yes, I agree with you. He was a man who find the human perfection, and in this case, he find the perfection in his wife.
Yes. So the conclusion is he wanted perfection,
Yes.
and he wanted to eliminate the birthmark of her wife. Okay, about the author. Question number 1. What inspired Nathaniel Hawthorne to become a writer? In my opinion, I think that he had a terrible life because his father and his mother died, and he was so depressed, and he started to write sad stories and terrible stories too.
Blue stories.
Yeah, I agree because I think when in some cases a child was alone without his parents, it's difficult to grow up, and I think he developed himself across the stories. And for that reason, I think he expressed his sadness about his stories.
Yes. He showed his sadness through all his stories.
Well, I think that he became one of the best writers of that time, because maybe the author need maybe a tragical childhood. I think it because some author develop the stories more detailed and make people feel like the story said in every point. I mean, the people feels like the main character that is in the story.
he was inspired. I think that he was born with this ability,
Mhm.
right?
He was born.
Yes. And
Can be too.
in the long of his life, he was inspired in the terrible situation that he lived.
So the conclusion of that point is that he was a terrible childhood, and that
Yes.
inspired him to write, or maybe he was born with that ability,
But
like you
yes.
said.
went
Yeah.
to write that kind of story.
Okay. About the context, what was the Romantic literary movement? I think that it was a movement, but not only in literature.
It's a cultural movement.
Yes, a cultural movement with singers, with writers, with movies, but the Romantic literary movement in specific was a lot of writers started to write. To started to write romantic stories, but with finals, with sad finals.
Um, okay. I think the romantic movement, it's focused in the feelings of the story.
Yes.
What I mean is the author trying to pick or grab a lively or common story that you can see in this story, a birthmark. I have a birthmark. Pick a common story that you can maybe feel like the protagonist,
Yes.
and make you feel some emotions, or maybe in this case terrify you or scary. So I think the point of the romantic is make people feel in the way that the author think that you can maybe get if it's a lovely story,
Mhm.
make you feel this emotion and in the highest point.
Yes, but you have to know that it was this movement. I mean, it was with crazy actions like the story. It's romantic, but with crazy actions. For example, try to eliminate the birthmark.
Yeah. But I agree with you when he said that it's about feelings.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I know that the romantic literary movement is a little bit darkness,
Yeah.
because everybody always think that the sadness, the maybe cry for something, or that kind of expression is a very it's a way to develop express their self. For example, they always are like depression,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that happened in Europe, but in America it's totally different, because in American it's like a war, because they always they are always discuss for something and try to solve that problem with another way. And I think that this author, and in that time, is focused on his sadness with the romantic period of time. What do you think, Maria?
Well, in addition, this comment, the romantic literal is a transcendental movement,
Mhm.
originated in New England.
Yes.
Yes. In this movement, Nathaniel was considered a
One of the
representative figure in
Yes.
this moment. I can say this about
What do you think? Okay.
Because of the name, people think that romantic literature movement is like a cute thing, but it's not like that. Sad and blue stories
Mhm.
with bad endings.
Yes. So I have to say something else. This movement was created in 1800. Yes. And the conclusion is that the romantic literary movement, like Leo said, it was full of feelings.
Nathaniel write about was part of the romantic things.
Yes. It's romantic, but with sadness, with
Yes, with that.
crazy actions.
yes.
And the last one is about relationships. How do you think that of Hawthorne's father influenced his writing?
We
I
already
think-
talked about that.
Sorry. No, sorry.
Yes.
I think the death of Hawthorne's father
Mm-hmm.
influenced in his writing in only the style, the dark style in his writing.
Yes. Like we said previously,
Yes.
the death of his father inspired him to write sad things and dark things.
Yes.
I can say that.
Because his father died when he was a child.
Yes.
It was difficult.
Yes.
Well, I said my point of view, and I repeat again. When maybe I think when he lost his father, it felt so very long.
Mm.
And I think that that event permit him to improve his story about very very it's not sadness another word.
I think I think the hardest childhood that he has could improve his feelings, and I don't know how he started writing, but I think that maybe his environment. No, I think the maybe other people improved to him to write more stories that you can maybe he maybe he try to express what he feel in his childhood.
Yes.
I think because as you say, and also you say his childhood was sad and a little gray. Maybe try to express this in his writing.
Yes.
Well,
So,
I get confused.
yeah, our final
You finally your ideas.
Yes.
This is good.
our final conclusion is that he had a harder childhood, and that's the reason why he started to write with sad actions and sadness.
Yes.
Do you agree?
There we go.
Thank you.
Bye.